This is Randy Ferris, the head coach at Central High School, coming to you from Coach's Corner here at Cascade Sports. Cascade Sports is the home of the student athlete. I am really excited that we have a special guest today, Coach Sean Pearson from Lincoln Prep. Coach Pearson, it's really good to have you here today, and want to talk to you a little bit about the subject that I know you hold the most dear in sports, and that's Kansas University.
It's good to be here, Coach. Thanks for having me.
All right, and I just want to, for our viewers out there that know Kansas is really good, because you know they do win the Big 12 championship every year, but I just want to run down some stats here that are just amazing to me, and I don't know, even though you're a Kansas grad and bleed Kansas blue, you probably don't realize the extent that this goes. First of all, they've won over 2,150 victories all time. Secondly, 58 conference titles. Next, 14 Final Fours. And then, of course, finally, 5 national championships. That's just amazing. Coach, what does it make you feel inside when you hear that the school that you represent and that represents you has that kind of record?
Well, it makes you proud. It's one of the things, I learned when we were there, to be proud to have Kansas across your chest. And, I still hold that pride now, outside of the years that I haven't been there to be a player. I'm still proud to be a Jayhawk.
That's so good. That's good stuff. And then the other thing that amazes us as coaches, man, you've had James Naismith, Vaughn Allen, Ted Owens, Larry Brown, Roy Williams, and Bill Self. Now, the funny thing about all that, the only guy on that list with a losing record is the guy that invented the game of basketball.
That is true. That is true.
And that's what's crazy.
Kansas is, we've been fortunate to have some great coaches throughout the years, and the thing I like most is that the coaches come and they're there for a while, and they continue to build on the Kansas pride, and that's the big thing, and we just love being Jayhawks, and they get the guys to buy into that.
Well, and one of the famous stories that we kind of all know, but I know you were there during that, is Roy Williams would always go for a jog on the day of a home game, and he'd jog down there and he'd make a visit to James Naismith's grave. And
that's true. Coach had a lot of superstitions that he would pass on to us, that he would do, and he would try to get us to do as a team. And a lot of them were fun just because it was always something about the history of being a Jayhawk.
Yeah, well, that's, and it's such a treasure that we have it as basically people count it as one of the Kansas City sports franchises because it's so close to Kansas City, and so that's a treasure. And sometime in the future, we're going to have Coach Billy Thomas from Barstow down here too.
Oh, good.
And we're going to interview him too, because I know he'll have some of the same and maybe a few different insights that you have on playing for Kansas University.
Yes.
Well, Coach, tell us as we get into the nuts and bolts here. Tell us a little bit about your family.
I'm married to a lovely young lady named Martha Pearson. We have 2 young boys. One's named Tegan. He's in 8th grade now at Summit Lakes Middle School in Lee Summit, and his younger brother's name is Talon, and he's in 4th grade, and he goes to Trail Ridge Elementary. They both love basketball, and I just tell them, if you're going to play it, I'm going to teach you to play it the right way, and one of those things is you got to give it your all every day. And
the oldest one's having some success, isn't he?
He's
basketball.
He's doing pretty good for himself. I'm proud. When I get a chance to go watch him play, it makes me proud to sit there and watch him compete and leave it all out there on the floor.
Yeah, well, that's really good stuff, because I asked you about family first, because as coaches, everybody always thinks that it's all about the game and all about basketball, but we all know it's family comes first.
Family's first, and that's one of the things I started preaching when I got to Lincoln, is that we're a family. I always tell everyone I have a wife and I have 2 young boys, but at the same time I have a wife and I have my 2 young boys, and then I have 24 other young men from the previous years that I consider part of my family.
Well, it's amazing that you segued that for me, Coach, because I was just going to ask you to tell us about the successes that you've had at Lincoln, which is a lot.
Yeah, we've done well over the last couple of years. I give that all back to the players on coming in every day, working hard, and believing in the things that I'm trying to teach them, that I was taught, and that's one of the things is play with pride and treat everyone like your brother and sister and have each other's back.
Well, so it seems to me like what I'm hearing you say is that attending Kansas has affected your life and your career in a lot of positive ways beyond basketball. But then, have you incorporated a lot of what you learned in Kansas in what you're teaching the kids at Lincoln Prep?
Yes, I am. To have the saying that basketball is life, and I try to tell the guys at Lincoln that, whoever came up with that saying, they got the saying and they thought it was something nice and something special, but in all reality, basketball is life, and that's one of the things I learned under Coach Williams is, if you're going to come into practice and you're only going to give half the effort, when something gets tough in life, you're going to give half that effort. So, just leave it all out there and don't be afraid to fail.
Well, the other thing that I've noticed coaching against you is you run a lot of the X's and O's from Roy Williams, and how has that helped you in your coaching career?
It's helped a lot because I'm familiar with it, and I also get a chance to see it some now still. If I get a chance to watch some college games, catch a couple of North Carolina games with Coach Williams. When I watch KU play, I still see some of the things I learned from when I was there that Coach Self still uses. So it kind of helps, if I'm stuck on something, I catch one of those games and then I can get it figured out.
Well, Coach, it's just great having you here. It's great to coach against you because it's such a privilege to go against the really good coaches in the greater Kansas City area. And what we hope to do in the near future, maybe sometime this next week, we're going to get over to Lincoln Prep and we're going to interview some of your players. I don't know if you've noticed on our Cascade Sports site, we do a lot of interviews with players throughout the city. And we just had to get you in here because you represent the very top of coaching in the greater Kansas City area. So I'd like to close with the way I always close my interviews here at Cascade Sports. My philosophy is go hard or go home.
I'm IFBB Bikini Pro Cat Williams, and when I'm not working out in the gym, I'm searching the web on Cascade Media and What's Up Kansas City. So make sure you check them out.